Good morning, everyone, and welcome to the On Time, On Target Morning Brief, where we invest with fighter pilot precision every day. Today we're going to talk about the Bumble IPO. If you're not familiar, Bumble is a dating app that is going public today. It's based here in Austin. It is a female first, if you will, dating app where the women have to make the first move. That's kind of all I know about how it works. But we're going to talk about, is this a place where you should put your money? Because as you know, IPOs have been red hot, and I honestly wouldn't expect Bumble to be any different. So not necessarily what I would call a long-term hold, but we will compare it to Match.com, which is the kind of biggest dating app as far as a public company out there. Kind of talk about how that's affected by the pandemic. Is there increased usage? We'll certainly pull up the Match chart for MTCH, and then talk about, is Bumble going to follow the same path? So that's what we're going to talk about today. We also have some short-term stuff there in the chat window. If you're catching us on replay, thank you so much for checking us out. Make sure you subscribe and click the notification bell. If you want to join us live, it's $25 a month to come on in the room. And with that, let's go ahead and get started. All right, welcome back, everyone. And make sure you have your chat window and your Q&A window set up appropriately and with the call sign selected. Also, there's a standard disclaimer. Make sure that you know this is a financial education presentation. You have to do your own due diligence before acting upon anything you hear in this presentation. And full disclaimer information is available at ototnow.com. All right, welcome to a Thursday. Let's see, 11 February. We're going to talk about growing our money, protecting our money, and living off our money. Specifically, talking about growing our money through an IPO today. Again, we're not in on the IPO. Nobody asked for shares of this, nor would I have said, hey, let's get on the IPO. But certainly something to watch open today. And IPOs, like I said in the open, is that they've been popping pretty significant. I think the average on the year is like 12% on the first day. So how to play that is what we'll talk about today once we get to that portion of the show. And should you or shouldn't you, and is it a long-term hold or simply a trade? We'll also talk about our question today: what is the bid-ask spread? Kind of obvious, but not good idea to return to the basics sometime, since we talked about after hours trading yesterday and how the spread could be big. Well, if there's low volume in any stock out there, you could run into a large spread out there, and you want to handle that a little bit differently. So we'll pull the Investopedia on that and talk about it. Our flow today is going to be long, short, open, short, long. As you can see, or if you looked earlier, the headline, the futures are in the green, coming off a little bit of a red day yesterday, but futures are in the green, trending higher going into the open. We'll take a look around the world. We'll also come back to the U.S., take a look at the headlines of the day. And again, one of them is the Bumble IPO being the main headline out there. The two long-term investments we'll take a look at is really just the one, because Bumble's not open yet, but that is the ticker BMBL. If you have that set up, if you haven't watched one of these before, you can put an order in. Even so that the ticker symbol is live and available, so you can build your orders for BMBL. I'd put a limit. This is not a buy at any cost, kind of like Palantir was. But when it starts trading, then your order becomes live. So you can put the order in ahead of time. And if you haven't watched one of these before, go to a 1-minute chart, put the ticker in there, and then the chart will jump to life when the thing starts trading. Generally, midday is when they target for IPOs, once they have kind of everything together. They wait for that, lull in the news cycle to be able to boom open, and it gets a bunch of volume. Everybody slaps high fives. And the founders, which are here from Austin, become instant, millionaires, multimillionaires, or billionaires, depending on how crazy big the IPO is. All right, we'll get into short-term execution. If you see a couple folks joining late here, Pinterest long and save and QLYS short is what we're going to look at today. Contingencies and academic resources are standard. All right, let's take a look at where we are big picture and think pipes with TD Ameritrade. Here's a little 9-month chart of the S&P 500. So yeah, a little bit in the red yesterday, but in the big picture, who cares, right? It is not a significant move. Folks keep asking, hey, it gets more frothy every day. Can it continue higher? Well, I don't know. People were saying that here, 3 months ago. People were saying it back here. People say it all the time, right? Because when you have nothing to talk about, the mainstream media has to report 24 hours of financial news. So if none exists, there will be some created to fill that void. So yeah, that's what you talk about when you're hitting new highs, is you talk about bubbles. And there's gloom and doom folks that'll call for, there's going to be a correction, there's going to be a bear market. I don't know. I'm not in the prediction game. What I'm in the game of is wealth building. And I'm saying there's no real reason I think the market's going to sell off anytime soon until we start talking taxes. And that's going to be later on in the year, in my opinion. When we zoom in on the 5-day chart, you can kind of see we had the big negative move yesterday. Decent size sell off, enough to go, we're certainly in the red, but then it kind of fought its way back through the rest of the day. And again, you see the same thing kind of going on into today. All right, setting up for our charts. Again, we'll have 4 charts for the day trading. We have 1 long with Pinterest, and then 2 shorts, save and QLYS. This QLYS is probably going to be my number 1. The CEO went on medical leave, short notice. So again, that's hitting the stock. They also just released earnings. So it's kind of like, really, you release earnings and the CEO goes on medical leave. Coinky dinky much, right? Coincidence? I don't know. But anyhow, they're in the red, and I think they're going to go further in the red. So that's what we're going to take a look at for our trade, but we'll come back to that. But if you want to get your ticker set up for that, I don't know that you'll be able to get all the shares that you want, because it's a lower volume than the other bigger names that are out there. But you can even dabble in pre-market, which some folks do. So say you calculate your R unit and you are going to end up buying 1,000 shares. Some people buy 100 pre-market just to see, can I get it? And, professional traders have multiple platforms that they have open. So if you can't get it through Robinhood or Schwab or TD Ameritrade, you get interactive brokers. That's almost near junkie status, if you will, but professional, that's how they have things set up. So they'll dabble into each to try to find where they can get their shares short. All right, digress. Let's go to headlines and take a look at where we are in the world. Refresh here real quick so you can see in the green and kind of going sideways. So maintaining that green status for the US here. Excuse me. Europe in the green, looking good. Asia in the green. China up over 1% there. Here's our numbers from yesterday. Flat, basically, not too concerning. Bonds selling off a little bit. No big deal. Same with oil. No big deal. Gold and silver, they've been kind of plowing higher for 10 days in a row, it seems. And then crypto, today was the first day where I honestly, that wasn't the top headline. So could we possibly be moving on from Bitcoin dominating the news cycle? I don't know. It's up 6.66%. Interesting number. Scary 666 number. But anyway, moving up significantly there. So we shall see. All right, let's come back to the headlines. About the marijuana stocks. We talked about them yesterday. Days all running together. Tilray continues to be on fire. That's kind of the individual name. I would not touch that here. MJ is the way to go. And you can still buy in. It's not nearly as attractive as it was, a week ago before it ran up 60%. But I still think there's going to be, it's not just Reddit. There's a lot of people going in behind this name because it makes sense. Disappointing jobs number this morning. It wasn't too bad. Oh, here's a headline for Bitcoin. Bank of New York Mellon's Bitcoin push. Don't know about that, but again, a lot of mainstream companies are starting to add Bitcoin to their balance sheet. There it is again here on the right. And Bitcoin blows past 48,000, hit another record high as major financial firms warm to crypto. Like I said, I could see this going straight to 100. So I put a buyout below 50. I'm not excited to buy it here, but if you don't have any, you probably need to pick up some. Again, I use GBTC as the mechanism to do that. All right, come on. Where's the Bumble headline? There it is. And I'm blanking on her name, but there's the CEO from here in Austin. It doesn't really say much about the actual company there. But again, high expectations out of Bumble. It's getting a lot of press lately. Hey, here's a Kenny Loggins reference from Kramer last night. He's talking about highway to the danger zone with the stock market. And his point was that there are basically, so you think the stock market and then market of stocks. And again, a lot of that's just play on words, blah, blah, blah. But it is really a focused subset of stocks that are powering the entire market higher. Again, those are names we invest in, right? So it's, a subset that is really the strength versus overall market strength. So how do you play that? You be very selective with their individual names because the overall market could sell off significantly. All right, let's switch to our topic of the day. Here's the chart for Match. So what you don't see is all the way off to the left of, long-term thesis. Are dating apps going to make more money in the COVID/post-COVID environment? It's tough for people to get out to socialize. Bars are closed, restaurants reduce capacity. It's tough to go to movies, that sort of thing. So is that, is it like the Home Depot theme of, people have to stay at home, so they're working more on their houses? It is for sure a theme. It has not gotten any of my money, but I do want to throw it out there because look at the success of Match.com. So it was at 80. I don't know where it was back in March. Well, actually, I do know where it was. It was around 45 back in March at the lows, now up at 171. When you look at these returns, it's expensive from a PE ratio. A lot of returns. It does have some short float. Could it be part of the squeeze higher? Sure, it could. But it's really been a money maker. I would not put any money into Match here. Now, if you want to, we'll go over to look at the longer view on Street Smart Edge. So when you put in a new ticker, BMBL, off to the right. So again, it's saying invalid symbol until it has its first tick. But when this comes alive, if you want to get in on this, I do think it's going to pop today. So it would be put a limit order in. The stock price will be announced midday if it's not already announced. So say it's $25. You can put a limit order at like 27. And if it pops past that, you're not going to get any. So you're going to miss it. And you have to be okay with saying, I missed it. But you don't want to go market order into this because these things tend to pop to the moon and then reset. So I would suggest limit order in, small amounts, and more of a trade. I honestly wouldn't even hold it past tonight. I'd take the first day ride on it. I'll see what I'm doing later. I don't know if I'm going to do it personally or not. But if I do have a break in the action and I happen to catch it right at the open, I might put some money towards it. All right, let's go and set up for our day trading. Again, we have three things to take a look at. Going back to TD Ameritrade, we have the four screens in front of you. And I'll talk to these here in a second. All right, so you can see in the chat, let me refresh this real quick. One person just joined. So again, Pinterest is a long, that is a match, excuse me, a headline off of a deal with Microsoft. In other words, I don't know the details behind the deal, but some sort of deal between Pinterest and Microsoft is out there that is driving the stock at 8% higher right now. For the shorts, Callaway Golf is a short, but we're not going to do that one. We're going to do Save, again, minus 7% off a headline, and then QLYS is my favorite off of the earnings as well as the CEO departure, or excuse me, on medical leave. All right, good morning, everyone. Welcome to the On Time on Target play of the day. We have four screens in front of you. On the left screen is the 1 minute chart for the SPY. We have about 5 seconds to the open here. We have one long in Pinterest and the other two are shorts. There's the opening bell. So again, focusing in on Pinterest long, up 5% right in our window. We have Save, which is a short, um, down 7% and dropping. And then we have QLYS. It's a lower volume play over here on the right. Again, CEO dropped on medical leave. Crap, I kind of wanted it there at 106. See if it comes back up to us at all. Looking at a dollar stop. Okay, we're going to take it at 106 when it drops back down. Oh, crap. Oh, buck 50 stop. Crap. Oh, this entry sucks. I don't like it. All right, if it jumps, crap. Yeah. Well, I need to do better because the entry was right here at 106 and it was going to be a dollar stop and it's already at a 4-hour move off of that. So congrats if you took any of it pre-market. It's a complete money maker here with plenty of volume. Still considering a secondary entry here. It did just pop above the 106 mark. Okay, if it gives us 106, we're going to take it. It's not going to. All right, I'm making a quick note. We're going to watch that. Moving on to, let's see, Pinterest going long. I do kind of like this entry here. Got Save. Top of the day is 31.20, so we'd have to cover to 31.23. So it would be a 40-cent stop if we took it here. Have the market kind of dropping in the red, so that's good for the shorts. All right, gonna look at another couple names here. All right, not going to do this Save short. We're just going to watch QLYS fall. Should have taken that faster on the lower volume. All right, Tilray selling off hard, so I'm going to pull that off into that. Remember, that one is the name. It's been up big. So up at 75, down at 50. Look at that drop, 22%. That is crazy. Pinterest is finally working over here. I'm going to look at MJ short and see what's going on there. So MJ down 11%. When you think, oh Lord, you just said that was one of the best themes. Well, back it out a little bit. So it's down here at 19. Basically, what's that? 75% move up. So yeah, it's kind of selling off that. I wouldn't hop in here on a day trade. The real trade this morning was this QLYS, but I missed the entry. So it looks like we are not going to get a trade this morning. All right, Callaway Golf. Let's see what's going on there. Down 8%. I don't have the headline on Callaway. Remember, I just got in the mail yesterday the merger with Top Golf. So Top Golf, if approved, is going public through Callaway Golf. Don't see the headline either on Callaway on why it's selling off so big. Oh, this QLYS trade was too easy too. All right. Let's take a look at Luckin Coffee, see what's going on there. Down a little bit this morning. All right. Man, nice move. Okay, let's go over to, so if you are a Reddit trader, again, Tilray is the one that's been in play. So could you imagine, buying in up here and then watching this 25% sell off today? So, all right, no trades today. Sorry about that. All right, we have Bitcoin that's up. We could take a look at Bitcoin long, not really for a trade, but if you were to hop in, let's just pull that chart real quick. So kind of stabilize up here. So this might be your last chance before 50. You're like, is it going right through 50? And yeah, here's why, right? It gapped up from 38 to 44, kind of ran up to 49 or so, back to 44. So I don't know. What more and more companies come out, if they put this on their balance sheet, then it's going to go higher. So all right, back to where we were. Okay, Clickstream's up there. GBTC is Bitcoin. Revive Therapeutics getting some love today. Have some folks in that, as well as some other psychedelic names up at the top. SPNV, I can't remember whose SPAC that is, but it's Supernova. It's a famous billionaire SPAC that's out there. They're about to pick a name and release it, I think. MasterCard getting some love. That's probably earnings. PayPal, these are some payment processors I see up here. Visa getting some love. All right, a lot of names in the green. Let's look in the red. Marijuana selling off. We know about that. YCBD is another marijuana name, along with Empower. REAX, again, a new name to us, selling off a little bit. Let's pull that chart. So again, this is getting a low price point, and I don't really know necessarily a lot about the company. But here you kind of have it stabilizing in a range between 220 and about 250-ish. So it was way down here at around $1. This one is, it could go either way. If you're feeling super aggressive, you could take some shares of this and see where it goes. Luckin selling off a little bit. Palantir. Kind of a bigger sell-off at the end of right here at the morning. So again, is Palantir a buy yet? I think so. You could add more Palantir if you don't have a bunch of it already. I know a lot of you do. DraftKings, another name that it's above 60 now, I believe. Yeah, so stabilized kind of above 60 for the past week. So, I think my call's out here for I have it covered up at 70. So I don't see it going through 70, but I think it holds 60 here. Again, long-term theme is legalize sports gambling to be able to turn around and tax it. Okay, that's enough off the charts. Check back into the trades a little bit. Tilray still trying to find its feet down here. So I'm not in Tilray individually. Again, MJ is the way I play it. All right, let's go back to Google real quick to Investopedia, and we'll talk about by closing out the bid-ask spread. So here you are, Investopedia. So when you go to make a purchase, there's the bid and then there's the ask. And they simply just sit there. So the bid price is the spread is the difference between the two. So there's what the buyer is willing to pay and what the seller is willing to accept. Well, if there's during the open market, if there's a penny between the two, that's generally pretty good, and you don't have to worry about it. So if there's only a penny, I generally mark it in and mark it out of an order. Meaning, if I'm going to buy 100 shares of Apple, I'll just put in a market order and accept the fact that at 1 penny of a spread, I might be giving up a whole dollar off of 100 shares of Apple. So Apple's at 1. So let's get a real math example. So Apple's at 136.19. So bid ask is one penny on the spread there. So I'm basically forfeiting my laziness of using a market order would forfeit $1, potentially a whole dollar into a $13,600 order. So I'm not really worried about that. Now, if you're looking at the one we just pulled up, that REAXF, to where it's a $2 stock and the bid ask is a penny, then obviously that's a higher percentage of your trade. So there you would want to use a limit order and just set the max amount that you want to pay. Remember, these orders just sit out there, and as soon as the bid and ask somebody touches, they equal, then that it doesn't stay equal for very long because it executes the trade. When people say there's more sellers than buyers out there, that's not true. There's always an equal number of sellers and buyers, right? Because somebody has to sell. If somebody's selling something, there's somebody buying it. So that's kind of a flawed analogy when you hear people say there's more buyers than sellers out there. we talked about some level 2 before, level 2 trading. I'm not going to pull that up because it's a little too in the weeds, but you can actually take a look at bids and ask prices all the way down in size of the trades and everything. That's really into the weeds though, for what you want to, what you really need to know. Okay. It's a de facto measure of market liquidity. So again, if there's lots of volume in a stock throughout the day, you're going to get a small spread. If it's not, if you're looking at something with a 40-cent spread, just realize if you turn around, buy it, and then turn around and sell it, you're going to be out 40 cents a share, right? And that's if the market doesn't move. So that's an example of an illiquid sort of thing. So if you're seeing a high spread on it, just before you buy it, make sure you can turn around and sell it. Okay, and there's a math example if you want to follow that. All right, that's all I got for today. Sorry we missed out on that juicy trade in QLYS. Looking back on it, when you do have a negative headline like the CEO departing, that is one where you would want to lean in and grab it earlier than later. I did not do that, but you could see had I done that, that would have been a nice, easy trade for us. So, all right, that's all I've got for today. We'll see you back tomorrow on Friday. Have a good one.